Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Lazy Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Sam Priestley, and as normal, we're joined by the lovely, amazing, beautiful co-host and my wife, Emma Priestley.
Hello! What an intro.
And that's it. I'm in a very happy mood today.
Why is that?
Don't know. Why am I happy today?
You've done a lot of jiu-jitsu
I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu.
in 2 days.
I've got some admin out the way that I've been putting off, which makes me feel good. I phoned our car insurance.
Congratulations.
That I hate doing. And I'm recording a podcast, which is one of my favourite things to do.
Woo!
So Emma, today I want to talk about the guilt that you feel as a self-employed person, as a small business owner, anytime you're not working. This is something that I think that anyone who's got their own business, they're trying to build, where they're completely responsible for their own time, and they've got to balance life, they've got to balance work, and they've got to balance health, they've got to balance family, feels.
Sounds good.
It's something that I still struggle with after whatever it is, 10 plus years of working for myself, that I kind of always have in the back of my mind, I should be working. That there's something more productive I should be doing. Which is weird because I'm completely in control of my own time, and that should be amazing, right? It should be that every day I wake up and I think, should I do some work? Oh, I don't know, it's a lovely day outside, why don't we go out for a picnic? And then if I choose to go out for a picnic, there shouldn't really be guilt attached. Like that is why I do this, right? So that I can, on a whim, choose to go out and have a picnic, or go to a museum, or go go-karting, or something random.
I have to say, I do think I am the latter.
You don't struggle as much with this.
No,
as me.
I don't. I absolutely love my life and love that I can choose when to work and when not to work. And I have to say, I don't feel guilty when I'm not working. I feel happy in the week when I'm doing something that isn't work.
God, you're such a weirdo.
I think it's because it's so different from working in a corporate.
Yeah. But don't you feel like, because you know that you used to work 9 to 5 or 8 to 8 or whatever it was, that is what you should be doing now?
No. I think the amount I get done in one day of 1 hour of emails is way more than I ever used to get done in like a whole week at work. I just feel I'm so much more productive.
Yeah. That's not me.
But I think it's because I've had the corporate experience. I've got something to compare it to, whereas this is all you've ever known.
Yeah, but when I've had times where I've done more and been more productive than other times. So I always have the memory of being better and doing more. And I always have a list of 1,000,001 things that I know I could be doing and should be doing and want to be doing.
Yeah, but I think where the times that you think you've been really productive, I think you've been focusing on one thing. Success in your head is to focus on one thing and spend a lot of time on it. That isn't how your life is set up.
Well, I've got this innate contradiction with my life
yeah.
that I want to have kind of as much free time as possible. I'm doing this because it frees up time and I don't particularly need to be working that hard. But at the same time, I feel like I should be working and I should be being more productive and I should be doing more. I should be doing more hours. And that's a contradiction.
Yeah.
And it means that I can't 100% enjoy the downtime and I'm not getting 100% into work. So I'm in this kind of middle ground where I'm guilty whatever I'm doing, basically. Yeah.
So what do you think you would gain if you did a lot more work? Like, do you think you would gain more money? Do you think you would gain more job satisfaction? Do you think you would gain enjoying the downtime more? What is it you think that you're missing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is a good answer to that, because I think the problem with the guilt of thinking like there's more you can do is that you've never done everything you can do.
Yeah.
Like there's a never ending list of things that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I said when I used to work a lot and do loads, I'd always say to Ben, we joke, there's not enough hours in the day, because there isn't enough hours to do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that probably in my mind, I've got this like distinction between productive stuff and time wasting stuff. And going for a picnic goes into the time wasting stuff. Watching TV goes into the time wasting stuff. Whereas going to the gym, doing jiu-jitsu, learning a skill doing work all goes into that kind of productive section.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because those two examples, like doing jiu-jitsu and doing a new skill, you need to have downtime. You can't just be working and working out. Like, it gets to a point where you train so much that you can't move.
Well,
and there is nothing you can do apart from watch TV.
And I like having fun.
Yeah.
So, like, I shouldn't feel guilty for kind of mindless fun.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch, like, Instagrammers who have, like, the dream life, or, like, travel vloggers or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they
this,
show the dream life.
I bet they still feel the same guilt.
Yeah.
That they can't 100% enjoy whatever it is they're doing because they feel like they should be taking more photos or doing more work, or we should go somewhere a bit more photogenic, or the light's not quite right here, we've got to go to another bar, or whatever it is.
Insane.
Yeah, and like, do you remember that documentary we watched about couple vloggers?
Yeah, it was awful.
Who were making like a career from being these perfect couples.
Well, vlogging their relationship. It was horrendous.
And then broke up and then decided to like continue faking it for these, because that's where their income's from. And they got this distinction in their mind between their real life and work, and it's not real.
Yeah.
I kind of knew you didn't really feel that guilt, because a few years back we would travel, we'd go around the world and we go to a new city, and you would want to go and visit all the museums and do all the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, I've got to do some work.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, all right then, see you later. Just leave me. And I'm like, oh, shouldn't you be doing some work as well? Do you not feel the guilt that you need to be, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the reason we've set up our life so that there's a balance between life and work, and I enjoy that to the max.
And we have a very good balance.
Yeah.
I struggle with it because I feel like I should be doing more.
Mm.
And so one thing I started doing since January is recording my time and labelling what I do kind of each hour.
Do you think that's helped?
Yeah, it has actually. So, for instance, last month I roughly had it split to about 1/3 of my waking hours. About 1/3 was done working, 1/3 was done kind of with friends and family and spending time with you, and then the other third was split to productive stuff
that isn't
video
work.
Gaming that isn't working, so jiu-jitsu and a few things like that. And I think that is actually quite a nice balance, that those three parts of my life, which are all very important to me, have
a balance,
an equal proportion. But then each one I feel like I'm neglecting slightly.
I think you have this mentality. It's like all or nothing as well with things. Like, hence why when you're starting a new business, you absolutely love the beginning, the strategy, the planning, the excitement. It's all you can think about, all you can talk about. It's 100%. And then when it comes to the day-to-day running of it, you're less interested, and you build businesses so that they run where you don't have to do very much day to day. But I think it's similar to everything in your life. You think you're doing well at it and you're really enjoying it when you're like 110% in it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But that doesn't work. It's a contradiction.
You can't be 110% in everything, can you?
But is it about being in the moment?
I think that is it. Because on one hand, I like to pretend like I'm really into being in the moment. I don't like making plans. I like the flexibility to, on a whim, go and do something adventurous.
Yeah, like when we did that picnic on Thursday. You suggest it in the morning, and we were there.
Yeah. So I really like that side. But at the same time, I'm always kind of planning. So I'm planning, what I'm going to do for the next 6 months on the blog, thinking about the podcast, thinking about the business, thinking about how we can grow our gin brand, thinking about what we can do with our new table tennis products, thinking about travelling and what life is like going to be then, thinking about other stuff I want to learn, thinking about, currently it's a bit of photography stuff, so what courses I can take and how to get better photography, thinking about writing a book, thinking about creating a video game, all these kind of random things that are always
exhausted by that list
in my mind and I constantly think about a lot.
No wonder you're tired.
Yeah, I think it is about being in the moment, which is something you're, I think, definitely better at than me. But then you love organising things.
I do. And being in the moment, for me, there's got to be some sort of planning around it. So that, for me, I enjoy the planning and the expectation of what it's going to be like, and then I really enjoy the moment. I think I'm less good at enjoying spontaneous things. I think one thing I do feel, I suppose guilty is the right word, is how much I look at my emails. So when I was at my corporate job, I was very adamant that I didn't have a work phone and that I only was able to access my emails on my computer, which was in the office. So out of hours, when I left the office, I switched off. Whereas now I look at my emails before I go to bed and as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
And yes, I do sleep a lot, but that's not the point. I don't have work hours now.
Yeah.
And so when people say to me yesterday when I had some meetings in London and I shopped in between, either, do you feel like you're always working? I'm like, no, because I get to shop in between meetings and that was really fun. And then on the flip side, it's, do you feel like you should always be working? And my response is, well, I am always working because I'm always looking at my emails.
Maybe the stress then is because the guilt that you're not yet feeling is because everything's at a manageable level.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
If you had 10 times the amount of emails a day, then maybe that would really start weighing on you.
Yeah.
Or if you had sort of more meeting opportunities or more things than you could handle, then that would start.
That's a good point, because with the meetings, I choose when they are.
Yeah.
So if I had a day where, I don't know, I wanted to go and spend time with my family, I could go and do that and then make sure there weren't any meetings on that day because I have the choice.
Yeah, so you're kind of planning ahead, but
Yes.
then once it's planned, that's it. Whereas I'll be halfway through my picnic and I'll start thinking about a change I can make to the blog.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, I want to go home and make that change.
Yeah. Whereas I would be at the picnic having a great time thinking, well, what can we do after this that's equally as fun?
Yeah.
Not thinking, right, I've had a couple of hours of picnic, let's go back to work.
I mean, getting a bit morbid, I think that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy having a drink at these things, because that's like the switch that means that now I don't...
Can't go back to work.
Yeah, I can't be sitting there drinking our sparkling Prosecco or whatever and thinking about what's next.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people use alcohol or food or whatever to switch off from work.
That mental, now is time for switching off.
Yes.
It's like a prop.
Yeah.
I think I probably use jiu-jitsu a bit like that. That when I'm doing it,
You can't be working.
well, that's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Because it's all encompassing.
And maybe for you, kind of social events are like that, like having people to chat to. Whereas if we're in a group conversation, I'll find myself drifting off and thinking about something completely different.
Well, actually, I would disagree. I'd say a lot of times I meet with people to talk about, to catch up, whether it's friends or family. A lot of the time we talk about work. And I care about what my friends and family think and their advice. So it's something that I do talk about, and sometimes it really winds me up and sometimes I find it really useful. No, I think actually I would say yoga is my, like jiu-jitsu, is my place to not think about work.
Yeah.
Because the type of yoga that I do now, there's a lot of movement. There isn't any static.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're sat in positions, your mind does drift very easily. Whereas I have to concentrate so much on what I'm doing in this current yoga class that I can't think about work, which I think is great.
Well, this was a strange episode. It was meant to be kind of us giving our advice about the guilt over always been working, but I don't think we have much advice to give. That's what it is. Like, I feel a lot of guilt that I should always be working. There aren't enough hours in the day, and there's a bunch of stuff that plays into that. One of them is that we've created a balanced life that we are logically happy with when we think through, but then the actual emotions that go on with that aren't always logical.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about advice. I think it's about talking about this.
Yeah.
It's about being honest about what we think about our work-life balance and whether we're happy with it.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because it's not just about having a correct answer that makes sense, a mathematical formula.
There isn't one.
And even if there was, that doesn't mean that then your emotional subconscious or whatever will be in line.
Yeah. I guess the one thing is to keep talking about it and reflecting, because it does change.
I suppose one thing to say is that I have made an effort to distance myself from certain parts of work in a way of to not feel the guilt. So one of which is that I very rarely check my emails. Another one is that my phone doesn't vibrate or doesn't ring or anything like that. I have a bunch of the stuff that encroaches on me. Anything which people are pushing stuff to me,
Yeah.
I've distanced myself from a bit, because I don't want just stuff popping up and distracting me from whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
So I'm the opposite to you. I won't be checking my emails first thing in the morning and last thing at night. I'll check my emails every few days, and that's been like a conscious decision.
But I mean, with the gin, I tell you verbally.
Well, because you're checking them the whole time, I don't need to check them.
You need to do this. You need to pay this, or whatever the thing is.
But on other stuff,
yeah, I'm your filter for Pipe House.
Yeah, and like customer service stuff, I don't do any of that. I outsource all that.
Yeah.
So instead, the guilt I get is then not from these random little admin-y stuff coming in. It is more the big picture stuff, the opportunities that I'm letting go to waste because I'm not acting on them. Yeah,
and that's enormous.
Yeah, and never ending.
Yeah,
because there's always, especially when you're a bit like me and you spend all your time thinking about, and that's what you enjoy, and talking to people and being creative and thinking up new business ideas and stuff we could do with original businesses and opportunities. There's always going to be more that could be done and more opportunities that we could explore. That's why people like Elon Musk work 24 hours a day, because there's always more that could be done. But I don't want to be Elon Musk. I'm not trying to get us to Mars. I'm trying to enjoy my life. make some gin in the process.
It's a good point though, isn't it?
Yeah, like...
Chill out.
I shouldn't be working. I shouldn't be giving myself a heart attack at 40 or whatever it is. Chill out. Be more in the moment. Maybe that is it. Maybe I just got to get better at being okay with the guilt. Because the problem is you get this guilt of that you should be doing work, which means then you don't go and do these exciting things that you could be doing because you've got all this free time. And instead you end up just procrastinating and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because like we could be like, oh, why don't we go to Fort Park today? Or why don't we just hop on... Oh, the Eurostar's got cheap tickets right now. Why don't we just pop over to Brussels for a couple of days? Or whatever it is. But we hardly ever do that because... I don't know, because...
Well, I'm always thinking to do that. There is a whole bunch of stuff I'd like to do in Kent.
Yeah, but... and we could just be saying, oh, spontaneous. Let's go to that state. Or we could plan it and be like, Tuesday, that's a good day to go visit a castle because... there's going to be no one there.
Well, I'm going to have to start doing that because we've only got a few months left. And if I don't say it now, then it's never going to happen.
Yeah. But when you suggest stuff like that, I'm often like, oh no, I should probably be working. Got loads of work to do.
No, your answer is always, you're too ill to go.
Yeah, to be fair, I have been quite ill, haven't I? Or I'm not sure whether I'm going to be well on that day, so therefore I don't want to commit to it.
Yes.
Well, that's a different discussion altogether, but... there were times where I would be, oh, I don't want to commit to that because I'm probably going to have a lot of work that I should be doing then. Anyway, let's wrap this up, shall we? You have any last words of advice?
I think it's good to talk about this. I think it's hard to talk about, as you've heard. It's not an easy conversation, but I think it's good to verbalise this because it's kind of hidden inside you somewhere.
Yeah, and it's something that if you do end up starting your own business, you're probably going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
I think if you're going from a career where someone has given you what you should be doing...
yeah, structure,
and then you've got to create structure on your own, even when you create that structure, I think you do feel guilty outside of that. One
thing we haven't talked about is life coaches and how we saw a massive trend for... people working remotely, having an hour call with a life coach on Skype every week, and it was so they're accountable.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff, aren't there? There's accountability. There's the two sides of it, aren't there? There's people who workaholics and never stop working, and you've got people who can't motivate themselves to work at all and need the accountability.
Yeah.
And both of them are hiring life coaches.
Yeah.
Or yoga instructors or whatever it is.
Yeah, therapists.
Military boot camp people to shout at them and force them to work a bit harder. But there is a bit of a trend, isn't there, that people are getting more happy talking about kind of their thoughts and feelings about stuff.
Yeah, when they're struggling with stuff.
It's
not about, oh, I have the perfect life and you just need to copy what I'm doing because I've got it all sorted. It's people are struggling with this.
Yeah, especially if you're ambitious, if you're comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
Because one weird thing is that when you're in a career, you've got very easy to see benchmarks for how you should be doing.
Yes.
And the people you can compare yourself with.
Yes.
But there's a lot more randomness when it comes to businesses, especially if you're doing blogging. How do you compare yourself to any other blogger? Well, someone might just get lucky and suddenly
you have to go meet people and then be open to talk about the money, the number of views you're getting, the stats around it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just on your own.
Well, and we then get this situation where there's so much more showmanship.
Yeah.
And people get cars they can't afford. They live a life that looks successful to project that success, to look bigger than they are, to look like their business is succeeding.
Yeah.
And then how do you compare yourself to that? How do you know whether you're achieving what you should achieve? And the problem is, there is no achieving what you should achieve because you're creating new industries, you're building stuff that wasn't there before. It's just totally down to you and a bit of randomness as to how things do. And I can't compare my hourly rate for the work I do to what I would earn if I was in a business.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. All right, well, again, let's wrap up. So if you're feeling guilty that you should always be working, or you're feeling guilty that you're wasting a lot of time, you're procrastinating when you feel like you should be doing other stuff, and maybe that means you then can't enjoy your free time to the fullest, or it means that you're stuck in this kind of perpetual procrastination loop where you can't really break out of it and actually be productive, then you're not alone. And I think pretty much everybody is suffering from one form of this or another. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to a networking thing not that long ago, and I said to some people there, that this is an idea for an episode that I was thinking of, and they're like, oh yeah, of course, that's it. And there we have it. This is a problem you're going to have to deal with, and that's the problem when you're completely in control of your own time, and you can do anything and everything or nothing. So yeah, but if you want to talk about it, as I said, I don't particularly read my emails, but I'll try if you email me. You can reach me at hello@samprecy.com, or actually if you leave a comment on a blog post at samprecy.com or on the show notes here, which are also at samprecy.com.
Yeah, you're much more likely to get a reply.
Yeah, I'll almost certainly reply to you. Yeah. And also if you've got any advice, because we're working this out, maybe the answer is more picnics and alcohol.
Always.
And on that bad advice, I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye.